Hello, everybody. This is Peter Welmerink, and this is the Create Our Own Comics channel. And today I have another creative spotlight with Peter Welmerink. Is that correct?
That is correct. Good job. Good job.
I get the first name right. That's a plus.
Yeah, that's a hard one between the two of us.
So you're displaying your Kickstarter page for your project. So you want to scroll to the top and show them everything.
Yeah. So
There we go.
So here we have the Big Jack Animals issue #1 Kickstarter campaign that I'm basically bringing this comic book to life via working with my friend Ryan Cummins of Rumble Kings fame, and this is basically a character that so I'm more of a writer, got some published work out there, and part of it is I created what I call the Transport Universe, which is my post-apocalyptic West Michigan based, because that's where I live, so I know all the nooks and crannies. But I created what I call the Transport Universe. I came out with a 3-book novel series back beginning of 2014, and created this post-apocalyptic world where all the bad stuff had already happened like 12 years ago. I based it on the H7N9 bird flu, which caused the zombie apocalypse, if you didn't know, in 2013. And anyway, but the transport story starts about 12 years later when we're rebuilding and moving forward. And I've created a bunch of different characters in this alt history realm that I've created. And Big Jack was another character that I started writing, and Ryan Cummins, who's a friend of mine, who had read the Transport series, asked me if there was anything else I had in the Transport universe that might make for a good visual adaptation. And I said, "Oh, let me think." And I had started the story of Big Jack and his travails, which take place about, I don't know, 50, 60 years after the Transport storyline. So quite a bit down the line. There's no real zombies about. However, they're big, scientifically mutated animals that are out there trying to chew us to shreds. And also, of course, as humanity usually goes, there's good guys and there's bad guys. So Jack is one of the good guys up against both those menaces in 2080. So I had talked with Ryan and offered him to check out the story I was writing that involved Big Jack, and he thought that it would make a great or be adapted real nicely to the comic medium. So here we are today. So doing a Kickstarter. It goes until September 2nd, and got about 50 backers, 17 days, almost halfway to our goal. But anyway, got a ways to go. Well, do you want to talk, Peter, and I'll shut up for a minute?
You're shooting for 3,000.
It's your show, and I'm just.
And how many? So it's a one shot, or what's the deal with this particular part of your bigger story?
So Big Jack, what we planned on doing is a 3-issue story arc The Kickstarter is to at least get the first issue funded. Maybe if we overshoot it, we'll have some more monies to go into the second and third. But right now, it's like a 3-issue story arc. So we're going to cap it off at 3, and if there's more to go, if we, if it's somewhat of a success, we might keep going with Big Jack. Also, I'm hoping that with this getting into the comic scene here with my characters and transport universe, that I might have an opportunity to also do a visual adaptation of my transport novels, which are very, very visual.
All right, so it will be self-published by you?
Yep, this first one is going to be self-published under the Ryan Skeletal Press little company, and also my APW production. So, and hopefully after that, I might start looking for a publisher after that first one comes out and then is successful and actually looks good, which I'm sure it will, because there's some great talent behind this thing.
So you want to scroll down and show people like the pledge levels and artwork and all that jazz?
Sure. I'll kind of talk to you about some of the images that you're going to be seeing here. The cover art is done by a gentleman named E.V. Cantata, who has done a lot of work in the comics field. He's a beautiful illustrator. The cover was drawn by him and then colored by a gentleman named Brian Magnay, who's another talent, and I'll show you some more of his stuff later. But so this is the main cover right here of Big Jack. And the variant cover right here is by a gentleman named Erwin J. Arosa, who does obviously some very beautiful work himself. So this was drawn and colored by Mr. Arosa. And again, I feel very lucky to be working with not only Ryan, but the what I call the Jack team, because just a bunch of talented individuals, and I can do this on my own. I could do a mean stick figure comic book, but don't think it would sell. Here's a picture of Jack by E.V. Cantata. So we'll have a color cover, and the interior will be black and white art, and I'll show you some of that a little further down. But it'll be black and white art by E.V. Cantata, and I really liked, so Ryan hooked me up with him, and the minute I saw his black and white and gray tone drawing style, I was hooked, and I think it's perfect for the dark and gritty atmosphere of Big Jack. So I think his stuff is gonna pop for black and white. It's really nice.
Awesome.
Again, on the Kickstarter page, this will tell you what Jack is about. And again, I mentioned that he's part of my transport universe, and you do not need to read my transport novels or any of the other books associated with it to get into Big Jack. Big Jack is kind of self-contained in his own timeline in this universe, this transport universe, which is it's Earth, it's Michigan in 2080. So after a post-apocalyptic zombie apocalypse, zombies gone, we're still here pushing forward. Anyway. And then why Big Jack, kind of talk about why we picked Big Jack to do this comic book adaptation of his adventure. Because again, it is very visual, and I like to write epic adventures. I don't, considering the theme is post-apocalyptic, I don't write doom and gloom. I'm a very positive person, but I like writing action adventure, and I like kind of creating my own world. So I thought, hey, again, why does like Los Angeles and Tokyo have to have all the monster movies and disaster movies? Why can't we have it right here in West Michigan? In the good old U.S. It also on the main page, you get to see some sneak peeks of, now these are not lettered pages, and they are lettered, and maybe I'll switch these out later on once I get those from Ryan. But these are the first 6 pages of the Big Jack comic. And like I said, you can really see that EV really can do wonders with the black and white and gray tones. Just,
it's beautiful work.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I'm, like I said, very, very lucky, very appreciative to be working with these folk. Also in the comic book, it's going to be a 26-page story in the first issue, and it also will have 2 what I call like a pinup gallery in the back. There's going to be two other illustrators that you'll get to see some of their black and white work. Here is a example of one of the black and white pinups that's going to be in the back of the book. This is done by Tim Haltrup. He actually had worked for I think mainly DC back in the day. He did some inking, I think, on Hawkman with Steve Lieber. And anyway, but and I've known him for about 25 years, Tim Haltrup, and I thought, hey, he does some really great stuff. So I commissioned him to do a black and white pinup for the back of the book. However, it looked so darn cool that I thought, what would that look like colored? So I got a hold of Brian Magne, who also did the colorization of the Evie Cantata, main Big Jack cover. But I got a hold of Brian, and I said, hey, can you look at this and maybe colorize it? And so he did this, which he sent it to me and sent me a message and said, hey, it's in your inbox. Why don't you check it out and let me know if you like it or not? And I opened up my inbox and opened up this file, and I was blown away. Blown away by this colorization of Tim's work. So I fired Tim and told him to go away. No, not really. Anyway. Just anyway, but and part of this image right here, just to explain it a little bit, like I said, there's some scientifically mucked with local fauna that are in West Michigan at the during this time of Big Jack's time. And so you have wolves in Michigan, you got bobcat, you got deer, you got cows and bulls and all sorts of other crazy stuff. But the wolves, basically the wolves have gotten a little bit big and nasty. The wolves in the Big Jack storyline are basically the pups are like regular adult wolf size critters, and the adults basically get so big that they start to burst out of their hide. So that's why you see Big Jack here doing battle with with an adult wolf that obviously just wants some love, just wants to hug. It doesn't care about social distancing. Anyway, so yeah, so the black and white is going to be in the back of the book, and at a certain tier level, I think it's at the $25 and $35 tier level, you will get a 8x10 copy of not only Tim and Brian's work, but also there's another gentleman that's doing an illustration for the back of the book. His name's Russ Coulter. I talked with him today, and he's getting his done this weekend, so I'll be able to get that black and white version, and I'll tap Brian again to colorize that. I'm sure it's going to be like very awesome. So like I said, the $25 tier will get you a outside the book 8x10 of Russ Coulter's colored piece that I don't have here yet. And then at a $35 tier, you get both Russ and Tim Haltrop's 8x10 colored piece. And in fact, because I live kind of close to those two guys, I'm going to also try to get them to autograph each and every 8x10 color print that's going to go with that tier. So cool. Some pretty cool stuff. We're also at the $50 tier. We have the Big Jack t-shirt bundle tier. So basically I guess maybe I should, I'll get to the pledges in a minute. I'll get through these pretty little pictures.
Right.
Anyway, you'll also get a shot to get a signed copy of my Transport Book 1 that came out in 2014. And so you can go back in time to 2025 when humankind was pushing forward after 12 years after the zombie apocalypse. There's some nice little fellers there trying to latch onto my 72-ton transport vehicle. And at a higher tier than that, also you get some additional books in the Transport series. The Faces in Perdition has 4 short stories. In the same vein, action adventure. This Joe Cross one, The Girl Who Ruled the World, is the 3rd book in my Joe Cross series, which he is also part of the Transport universe. So that's for a higher tier, which I'll get into in a minute. Also, we have some store backer bundles, and I will make a shout out to Black Cape Comics in Maine for being my first comic book store backer. Thank you guys. Thank you, Ben, out there at Black Cape Comics. Very awesome. So for only retail only, we have a couple of store backer tiers where you get some copies of Big Jack with the standard cover. That's the Evie Cantata. The Rosa variant cover, and this what I call the black and white version variant cover that has the Rosa artwork, which to me, the black and white is still as beautiful as the color. I tell you, I'm liking black and white stuff big time. Then at the $100 tier, again, this is for retail only. You get more copies of the main Big Jack book, couple more copies of the Rosa variant cover, a couple copies of the black and white Rosa cover. Then we'll have the illustrious blank cover, so you can draw your own Big Jack illustrations on there. And then also the what I call the PDW. I don't know who that guy is. Anyway, the PDW variant cover, which our friend Jason Webb, he saw that and he said, you need to offer that as like a variant cover. And to me, that's kind of, I always liked Scotty Young's stuff. So this is kind of a nod to him, and well, I don't know. He'd probably be embarrassed if he knew I said that. But anyway, but that's my PDW variant cover, and that'll be part of the. You get one of those in this higher store backer bundle.
Right.
Here, I thank the Big Jack team. I can go through the list here real quick. Of course, we got my court and crime, Ryan Cummins, the main cover and interior artist, Evie Cantata, and variant cover artist, Erwin Arosa, colorist, Brian Magne, and our pinup gallery artist, we got Tim Haltrup, Russ Coulter, letterer is Justin Birch, editor is Casey Pierce, and the Big Jack logo. Thank you, Ed, for creating a very cool logo instead of me just picking out some really boring ass font. Anyway, so and without these guys, I mean, yeah, I can write this stuff all day, but to bring it to life, I can't thank the Jack team enough for helping me put this together. So do you want me to go through the tiers quick, or do you got yeah? Okay,
We have plenty of time.
all right, okay. So there's this screwball up here in the corner. That's me looking like I gotta poop or something, I don't know. Anyway, I'm a writer of hardcore action adventure story. Yes, I am. Visual in nature, human in element, and always about moving forward. Because again, I don't write the doom and gloom stuff just to write doom and gloom or anyway. So here you have your support levels. You can pledge, of course, without a reward. But I think you'd be missing out if you didn't at least try to get a digital copy of Big Jack. But you can do that. Pledge without a reward, totally fine. Do whatever you want to do. Anyway, and at $2 or more, you give a Jack, and you'll get a thank you in the contributors page or acknowledgments page at the $2 tier. So you'll have your name in the back of the comic book. That's at the $2 Give a Jack tier. At the $5 tier, you get the Big Jack #1 digital comic. And again, that's the 26 pages of story and the 2 pinups that are in the back of the book. You get those. At the $10 pledge, you get a print edition of the regular cover, the Evie Cantata cover. Get a print edition for $10 or more. Oh, and a copy of the digital edition, which I still like reading. You know, physical, ye old wood pulp comic books. But I do like to read some digital comics because my long boxes can only handle so many physical copies of books. So anyway, so you get a regular print cover edition and the digital at the $10 tier. At the $15, you get both the Big Jack standard cover and the Arosa variant cover. And a digital copy of Big Jack #1. That's at the $15 tier. I feel like I'm on a public access channel. Bid now. Look at these great gifts you can have.
That's right.
Yeah. At the $25 or more pledge, you get basically everything above. You get the Big Jack digital edition, the standard cover, the Arosa variant cover, and also you get the 8x10 colorized pinup by Russ Coulter, which I should have that up on here for people to see either on Monday or Tuesday, depending on if I want to get it colored first, so I can do that, comparison like I did on the Ultra piece right here. I'll probably do something like that again, so that people can see what the comic book pinup will look like, the black and white one, and then also what the color one will look like. So I'm sure it's going to be very cool. So that's at the $25 level. At $35 or more, you get the same thing as above. The physical copies, the digital copy, and you get outside the book, you get an 8x10 of the Russ Coulter print and a 8x10 of the color Tim Holtrop print. And like I said, I should be able to get them signed. So we're going to get those puppies signed. So you'll get that in your pack of physical rewards. At the $50, we got the t-shirt bundle. And again, you get everything above that I just mentioned, and the Big Jack t-shirt to wear proudly around your neighborhood. And actually, my dear sweet mother, she won't read this kind of stuff, but she'll support it. And she did support Big Jack, and I'm thinking I'll get her a Big Jack t-shirt and have her put it on. I'll take a picture of her and probably post it on Facebook or something. That'll be a lot of fun. 85-year-old woman with a Big Jack t-shirt on. It's going to be awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
So that's the $50 t-shirt bundle. And we talked about the store backers. Again, you got a $60 and a $100 that are just for retail only. So I won't go through those again because we kind of went through those already. And those pictures of what the stores will get is on the page, so you can see what you're going to get. At $75, we've got Big Jack and Friends. So again, you get all the goodies mentioned above, including the awesome Big Jack logo t-shirt, and you get a copy of, hold on. Dead air. You get a copy of
Peter's cover of the best.
What's that? I'm back. Anyway, you get a signed copy.
I was saying, Jason.
What was that?
There's a little delay.
Oh.
There's a little delay.
Oh,
I was saying Jason in the chat was saying the best cover was your cover for the book. That was part of the store bundle.
Yes, that was the and who knows, maybe I might get maybe one or two more of those printed and offer them up for poops and giggles. But anyway, so at the $75 tier, you will get everything mentioned above, including the print copies, the digital copy, the 8x10 colored pinups by Tim and Russ, and also a signed copy of the first transport book. So, which also, because it's not like I love Tim Holtrop or anything, but when this book was in the process of being set up and everything, I asked the publisher if we could commission Tim Holtrop to do some interior pieces for, and again, this is a print book, but anyway, he did a couple black and white illustrations for each one of the 3 books. I don't know if you can see that. Get the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my character. Where is he? Oh, okay.
There he is.
Anyways, this is my character, Sergeant Stokes, and he's on the quad 30 millimeter guns in the front of the transport vehicle. And Tim said that there are actually like 147 shell casings that he drew into that picture. So I hope that paid him well. I don't know what he got paid, but hopefully he got paid well for all that insane detail. So anyway, you get a copy, a physical copy of that signed transport book from me. At the $125 level, we got the Big Jack and Friends Plus, which is basically everything that we talked about above, including the T-shirt, and you get 3 signed paperbacks. You get the transport book, get Faces in Perdition, which is has 4 short stories in it, and also in between the stories, I do a little question and answer with myself because I talk to myself, but that's what creators do sometimes. But anyway, kind of talk about the writing process and why I write and all that stuff. So kind of fun insight on what makes me tick. And then a Joe Cross urban salvage engineer adventure that is The Girl Who Ruled the World. So you'll get those 3 paperback books along with physical copies of the comic and all the other good stuff, the T-shirt. That's at the $125 pledge level. And this one is really special to me, and I hope somebody gloms onto it if I can actually scroll down to it. So Big Jack at $250 pledge level, Big Jack and you. So you get all that stuff that we mentioned above, man. You're going to be like reading insanity for however long it takes you to read your stuff. But one of the things I'm offering at the 250 level is a roughly 2,000 to 2,500 word or longer. It won't be any less than that, but a more or less personalized Big Jack story written with you in the story. With you in the story, you can at that level we'll converse and find out what kind of character you want to throw yourself into in the Big Jack universe, and I will write you a personalized story with you in it. You can decide, whether you want to be on Jack's side or on the antagonist side. If you want to get chewed up by a giant wolf, or if you want to get pummeled by Jack's sledgehammer, whatever you want to do, I'll write this story for you. And also, as an added bonus, my illustrator friend Erwin Arosa that did this stuff. Let me get back to that did the variant cover. This gentleman right here,
Right.
I have talked to him, and at that $250 level, not only will he get that story written by me, but he will do a illustration of your character with Big Jack or whatever we decide to do together. As far as the pledger and myself and Erwin will get you a really sweet illustration by Mr. Arosa to go along with your story. So I only put like four openings for that one, just because I didn't want to end up doing a million years of writing to cover that one. So anyway, but there's like four openings there. So I'd love to have at least one person pledge at that level, because I'd love to write you into a Big Jack story. And also because I love Arosa's work, I want to see what else he can do. So so that's the highest tier there.
Okay.
And that's it.
Awesome.
And that goes until September 2nd, I believe the Kickstarter does.
Yeah, so it's plenty of time to go check it out and look it over and pledge and share it out. So okay, so you wrote the novels first. Did you is that something you wanted to do as a career in itself, like writing novels?
Right.
And go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've always been writing. I've been writing since I've been in like grade school. I used to pilfer spiral-bound notebooks from the nun's drawer, desk drawer, and which I shouldn't admit that, but I think all those nuns are dead now, so I should be okay. But other than that, I'll be going to hell for sure. But anyway, but I was always writing, and I didn't submit anything really until about 1997. I did some other stuff before then, but I think I somehow was talking with I think I was talking with a professor at this college, and I was telling him stuff that I did, and he said, you got to submit that stuff. What are you going to do? Just let it, gonna pack it away in your basement and hide it in those notebooks. And so anyway, 97, started getting some short stories out there, and didn't really make a whole lot of money. That kind of wasn't the point. Yeah, it's nice to get paid for your work, but it was more important to try to get my material out there, get my name out there. And then in the 2000s, I worked with a writer down in Peoria, Illinois, Stephen Shrewsbury, and we wrote a Viking berserker novel called Bedlam Unleashed, which is also available out there. Anyway, and that kind of, because I always thought that I couldn't write like a novel length book, that I was going to be stuck as a short story writer. And again, the money wasn't a big deal because I had a day job. I was, the day job was paying, mortgage and for food on the table and all that stuff. So anyway, once I wrote that, kind of collaborated on that Viking berserker novel with Shrewsbury, I got kind of the bug to do my own thing, and I always wanted to write something that was related to my hometown, which is Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I always liked the military aspect of stuff. I've got, if you see the comic book or the comic book boxes behind me, I've got, I think, 1.5 of those that is like all war comics. Because that's the stuff I grew up with, getting Sergeant Rock, Our Army at War, plucking off the stand at the local five and dime, or the drugstore, or the candy store as we used to call it. So I'd walk out of there with a big thing of gum and some comic books. Anyway, but so I wanted to write my own series, my own novel, starting out in my hometown of Grand Rapids. I wanted some military aspect set to it, and also, and I wanted to do like a alt history thing. I didn't want to have it like necessarily modern day, and I wanted to have some sort of fantasy element, put it in a post-apocalyptic type setting, and then now I threw zombies in there. Okay, and I know zombies are a big thing with The Walking Dead and all that stuff, but and I didn't want to do the same thing where they were running after you trying to eat your face off. So I kind of did something different with mine. Yeah, you still had the feral ones that were on the outskirts of town, outside the borders and boundaries of the cities and villages. But within the city of Grand Rapids, on the west side of Grand Rapids, which actually is where I grew up, it was a quarantine area for the local zombie populace. And part of my military crew's job was to go in there, check out stuff, and also feed them this doped meat slurry to keep the zombies, the local zombies, kind of lethargic, and they wouldn't be chasing you down or anything. But and why I put them in this quarantine area is because there are poor afflicted family and friends, and there was laws in the city about actually harming these local undead. That's why they put them in this quarantine area on the west side of Grand Rapids. So I played around with that, so it's not like the same zombie apocalypse stuff going on. But so anyway, I wrote that first book, the first transport book, and it's about Captain Billet and his crew. They all ride around in the 72-ton heavy transport vehicle. Yes.
There you go.
I always like to find stuff for book displays, so I found a toy that looked kind of like the vehicle, and I kit bashed the rest of it and made it into my Huron. And I take it to conventions and stuff. It's kind of fun. Anyway, so I wrote the first book, and the publisher, who's down in Kentucky, 7-Star Press, they only work with like a 3-book deal, and I'm going, okay, well, I got the first one all figured out, and everything flowed, and then I had to come up with the next 2 books, and luckily all that stuff flowed together. But that's where the transport stuff started. And to answer your question about I've never quit my day job for writing, and is that my goal in life? I always tell people that if I did it for fame and fortune, I would have quit a long time ago. As you probably know, it's pretty brutal to truly make a living on it unless you get super lucky, and droves of people pick up your stuff, and next thing you got movies and television series and all that stuff. So I just want to keep doing this stuff. And if I make a couple bucks, if somebody says, hey, Welmerink, I read your transport stuff, that's pretty cool, then that's good to me. I'm not expecting to be able to quit my day job. If I am, awesome, but yeah. Anyway, that's not my main goal in creating and writing. So it's nice, get some money, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is tough, especially now. It's like people getting fired left and right everywhere, laid off and all that jazz. But it sounds like you wrote a bunch of novels. Now you're doing like a comic book adaptation of that, and you'll be creating more as you go, and people can look forward to all that. Have you done a lot of promotion? Like, you've been going how many days so far? Like, you're doing this for like 30 days total, right?
Yep. So we're on day 17, and I've done some stuff on Facebook, some live videos. Actually, just this last week. So I had some cool old tools that I found in this garage at this place that we were staying at, and so I use those as kind of my backdrop, and which was kind of fun. I didn't chop my head off with. I had a old like what I called an old weed whacker. It's the Sith or whatever, the Scythe or whatever. The had like two handles on it, and it was very very rusty and stuff. And I had it behind my back, and told people that they might see me cut my head off on the live stream, but it didn't happen, so it was good. But so I did a couple videos. I'll probably do some more. Actually, maybe something with my the co-creator Ryan Cummins. I think we owe the people something. Yeah, so have been pushing a lot on through Facebook. I've got some calls out to some comic book stores and trying to get it in there. In February, when we actually send out all the rewards, hopefully before then, but we put February 2021 as when we'd actually get all the stuff out to people, including the books. That would give us a good like 6-month window to have like Evie Cantata finished all the rest of the pages and just get the whole thing done. But next February, I am going to do a physical book launch with Ryan at a place called the Comic Signal, which is here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And the store owner said he'd give us a table, and we can bring all our gear in and stuff, all of Ryan's stuff and all of my stuff, and have a day at it. So it'll be fun. So that only if it's successful. Either that, or I'll be going over to that guy's store in February and crying because Big Jack didn't come. So anyway,
yeah. Do you have are you big on like Twitter or Instagram, or do you have any like across the web's presence?
Yep, I've got instead of like telling you all this stuff, I think I can just throw this document up there.
Give it a shot.
Oh, hang on. Let me not share this screen. Where is it? There it is. All right. I think you can see. No, wait.
Okay.
Maybe it's thinking about it.
Is that what you want to share? No, I got to click on it.
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
There we go. So those right there are all the places that I am on. Facebook. You can find me at P Welmerink. Also, I have a page that is author Peter Welmerink, and I maintain both of them. The P Welmerink is my main one, and I don't mind using that because I tell you what, shuffling between all these different social media platforms is probably part of my gray hair. But anyway, so Facebook, you can find me at P Welmerink. Twitter, it's author Peter Well 1. Instagram, it is Pretorius Rex on Instagram. The Kickstarter is, well, that's anyway. That it's if you look up. If you get on Kickstarter.com, look up Big Jack Animals, boom, I'm there. I've got a blog called Grand Rapids Altered.blogspot.com, it has a lot of stuff regarding my writing, just some commentaries about being a writer and life, and also some little like one-shot short stories of that involved my transport universe. So it's kind of fun. Got some pictures and artwork there on that blog. And then I do have a Patreon page because somebody said that would be a great idea. And so I did that, and that's at patreon.com, P. Welmerink. And one of the things that I'm doing there is right now I'm kind of putting all the Big Jack character short stories out there for everyone to read, just so that people can kind of look at or read about some of the other characters in the Big Jack storyline. It won't give away anything in the comic book other than you'll get to know some of the other characters, Jack's wife, his kids, his old sidekick, Flory Larson. And anyway, just give you some more insight into that world. That'll be on the Patreon. I'll probably bounce it between the blog and the Patreon for now. But I'm going to keep the Patreon kind of open to the public for that kind of stuff, just because I want to share it. I want to get that stuff out there instead of asking people for a $2 donation or something like that. So anyway, so those are all my wonderful little social media platform items there.
Right. So my question is though, do you have a lot of people following you on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on your blog, or is it just like, you know, like you get 20 people here, 20 people there?
My mother and my dog. No, actually, I got a pretty good following on Facebook, and I honestly, on my Twitter account, I had a very down time with all the social media stuff, and I totally deleted my old Twitter, which was going pretty good, but I got social media overload, and I blasted Twitter out of the water, and then realized, some months later, it's like, I need to use that platform for stuff. So I created a new one. So right now the Twitter account is, I've only got like 13 followers. So anybody that wants to get on there and follow me, I'll follow you back. And we can like kind of reload my Twitter account there. Instagram, I think there's quite a few people on there. And the blog is, I haven't looked at who's been reading it lately, but kind of depending on what I post, you'll see like a whole bunch of people that have read it, or my dog. So
Well, I'm saying, like, your campaign is live. You want to take advantage of any following you do have everywhere that you do have following. So make sure to keep those all fresh, and post about the project, post about all that. So Jason in the chat says, and he has a Jason too. Is Jason part of your project in some way? Is he taking credit?
What? Jason's asking if he's going to be. Yes, Jason. Yes. I'm sorry. I will update my Kickstarter page and make sure that you get on there, because you are the one that wants me to put up my Scotty Young impersonation picture. So anyway. You'll be. Yes, thank you, Jason. Thank you. I love you.
He says, don't forget the OnlyFans. Is that another website? OnlyFans.
Is that? Jason, I want to have to talk to you about that one because I swear that. Well, anyway, the only thing I see on OnlyFans is stuff that I need to close my laptop for. Because anyway,
Okay.
but we can talk. We can talk about that later. So I don't. Yeah, I've heard of it and I've seen, but I haven't seen a lot of. Well, I guess I haven't looked at it close enough though. I haven't seen a lot of I guess creatives on there, or I must be looking in the wrong place. But I'll check that out if you're serious about that, Jason. Of course, I'm going to listen to you because you know things, you know people, and you know
He does
things.
know things.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Well, like one of the number one things, if you're doing crowdfunding campaign, that they tell you to do is have email lists.
yep.
Do you guys have an email list?
As
And
far
take
as
advantage of that?
yeah, I know that Ryan does, and like I said, he couldn't come on today because he's been, working his butt off, and but I know that he from his Rumble Kings, I know that he's got like a laundry list of people that we can contact, and also. And I didn't think about this until after I did the Kickstarter, but I also have a mailing list that I'm going to dig into and send out there. So, yeah, so we do have a mailing list. His list is probably bigger than mine, but anyway, but yeah. So there's a mailing list that will be contacting readers and fans of our creative work. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's a good looking project, and I like what I see, and I wanted to get you on here and talk all about it. If there's anything we haven't covered or you want to mention, now's the time.
No, just give it a shot. The comic is going to be a beautiful. I mean, you can already see by the cover, and again, the interior art's done by the same guy who's doing the cover, Evie Cantata. It's going to be a great story, action packed, about a big dude, about a husband and father who's also a salvager and a local bounty hunter. He's doing this stuff to, keep his family fed and keep them moving forward. And of course, he stumbles across some bad people, pisses off some bad people, and also the local fauna. Those big bad wolves. Bursting out of their hides. They're lurking back there somewhere also. So there's gonna be a whole lot of stuff going on. Big action adventure set in a post-apocalyptic world, but a world that we're moving forward in and rebuilding our cities and stuff. So it's not just it's not like a Mad Max thing or Desert of Glass. Anyway, so and it happens in Michigan, so Michigan's going to continue to be like a forested place of many lakes.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking about your product and telling everybody about it.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll make sure to put any links you want me into the video description.
Yep.
So you pass those to me, and I'll be sharing out the video, and more people see it over time, of course. And there's plenty of time left on the campaign, so hopefully you'll get a few more pledges coming your way just from this video alone.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate it. Thanks, Peter.
My pleasure. And thanks, Jason, for clogging up the chat.
Hey, he's our one fan. He's our one fan.
And Yes, that's right. Well, this is for me. You know, it's like I have two channels, and this is my new channel. But I want to specifically gear it towards one-on-one interviews, as well as down the line have creator roundtables kind of thing. So this is a growing channel, but you know, it will get there. YouTube is, you know, a challenge. But yeah, thank you everybody who's watching this.
Hi, Anna.
At any point. Hey, Anna, welcome.
Two fans.
Two fans. There you go. You're doubling your fans. Give the video a like. If you're watching this and new to the channel, subscribe. There's the creator-owned Facebook group. If you make comics, go join that and show off what you're working on. We're happy to have everybody at any level, and go pledge to Big Jacks and make it happen. We're a little less than halfway there, but we'll get it there.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
So,
thanks, Peter.
Yeah.